Welcome back to the News Hub here at WSJ Live. I'm Simon Constable. Fast food workers are striking today across 6 continents and many major cities in America. The goal of the strike is to draw attention to the push for a living wage of $15 an hour. Who's behind this coordinated effort, and will it achieve its goal? For a look at today's events, we are joined by Paul Sonn, General Counsel for the National Employment Law Project. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you, Simon.
What is the what's the goal here? Because this has been tried before, right? Having a strike, draw attention to it. It didn't seem to work last time. Will it work this time?
We think it's on a track to do so. This escalation globally is really unprecedented, and what it's highlighting, with conditions for Burger King, McDonald's workers, and across the nation, the globe, is that this is a multi-billion-dollar industry that's fundamentally being operated on a poverty wage HR model, and the strikers are standing up and saying it's not sustainable. We're adults, we're supporting children, and I think two of this international aspects of this international phase, I think, could change the game. One is some of the key emerging markets are getting hit. The UK, for example, has McDonald's in 20 cities on strike. That's a key growth area McDonald's has identified. But I think the other aspect is where we're not seeing the action, and it's really that points to, I think, where there's a possible solution. It's Scandinavia, where they have unionization and higher wages, but really for the UK and the US, Australia, I think, is a key indicator, where they've transitioned the industry to a $16 plus US minimum wage, and the 900 McDonald's there are operating profitably. And we see inklings of this here in the U.S. San Francisco already has a $13 plus combined health and wage standard. The restaurant industry is adjusted. And then the Seattle agreement.
Let's come back to that in a moment. I just want to read a statement from the National Restaurant Association. It says, restaurants are the cornerstones of our nation's small business community. Over 90% of restaurants are independent or franchisee owned. From local diners to city steakhouses to America's favorite chains, restaurants are creating jobs and providing real pathways to success. Obviously, that's just part of it. There's more of the statement that they've made, but the general thrust is that they're not thrilled about this. $13 an hour in San Francisco, that seems reasonable, but we're talking about $15 an hour, and not everywhere in the US it has the same wage structure. Here in New York, we have very high cost of living, high wages. Why are you trying to make a $15 an hour here equivalent to $15 an hour in South Bend, Indiana, where the rents are minuscule in comparison? It doesn't make any sense.
Well, I actually think that the strikers are actually not calling for that. They're calling for the industry to sit down with them and agree to a reasonable plan for recognizing the union if workers want that, and then a plan for transitioning the industry to the higher wage model that you see in places like Australia, but significantly Seattle, where the agreement a couple of weeks ago was very significant. Not only is it transitioning the city's economy to $15 minimum wage, but the business community sat down, negotiated it. Most of the business negotiators signed onto it, including restaurant owners. So it might well be a picture that lower cost regions of the country had a different scale. They want to work with the industry.
You would think that it would need to be. Now, talking about a scale, in the UK, we have an age-related one. You've got to acknowledge, I think, that when people come out of school, part of the low pay, which we all had when we left school, was learning, right? You're getting paid through being taught skills, right? And so the minimum wage is based on age. It goes up. If you're 16 when you leave school, you're going to get a lower minimum wage than if you're 18 and if you're 21. How about that? Does that seem fairer to you?
So, our organization opposes those policies. We think the youth job situation is not really driven by the minimum wage.
But do you acknowledge that people have to learn how to show up to work on time and do what they're told and learn the skills? That is part of it, right?
It absolutely,
and that costs money.
It does. But the key thing here to keep in mind is the fast food industry has really changed. Our economy is trending low wage. The median age is 28. The median low wage worker age is 35. These are adults spending chunks of their career, many of them supporting children, and it's 40% of the jobs, we're 4.5 years into the recovery, 40% plus of the jobs that are being created are low wage, driven by fast food, and it's just not sustainable for our families or our economy. Your previous guest was noting that two ago that weak demand is a key obstacle to growth, and the wage problem is something we really have to tackle. And we think, transitioning these industries to a reasonable wage structure, a sustainable wage structure, is part of the solution.
Thank you very much for your thoughts. Paul Sonn, General Counsel for the National Employment Law Project.